Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting, innovating, and amazing Propagandacast with me, your host, Pearl Dane, the one, the only master propaganda hero, psych defender of the fatherland, off here to a glorious 1v1 on Kholodny Ferma of all maps, considering it's pretty rare since most people just tend to veto it. In the west, it is SalmonTA fighting for the Red Army, the Soviet Union, Comrade Stalin, and the 6th Guards tank corps here with Guard Motor, Shock Rifle, and airborne troops. And east, it is AceHiro fighting for the Oberkommando West, Germany, Deutschland. Here with the elite 1st Panther Division with fortifications, tasked with holding the line until the infantry division can relieve their positions. We got heavy fortifications for the fatherland, Pack 43s, Leichter Feldhaubitz 18, and searing artillery. Definitely a pretty rare commander overall. They got W40 versus W people to start there for Salmon. And as always, a big hearty thanks to my patron supporters, true champions and heroes of the Propagandacaster who support the effort. Other people can join the ranks by Patreon, or they can donate by PayPal. Links to the description. And you can always just comment, like, share, subscribe. Talk a bit about what you like this match. Bound Fulton squad here, having got the carve point, but interesting we see him sort of rushing to secure the centre here. Obviously the map tends to be a bit focused around the centre. It does make sense, but at the same time we could try to pressure more around the north here, or even around the south. But interesting if he did choose to pretty hard on the centre here. Special Rive or Penal Squad out here for Salmon from the Special Rive command start there. Note the Soviet Union was not the only one to use penal battalions. In fact, the Germans were also users of them. For example, I think there was actually some in North Africa. The fort, I believe, also bit in Italy. They had some penal units fighting there as well. Sort of some fun facts there. And part of me also likes to think somewhere in during Operation Market Garden. I think that one is a bit of a glitch there in my mind. But anyway, so a few places they would use those penal troops, are the German ones there. Little fun fact there. We got a 2nd Pinto squad there for Salmon. So far, fairly standard stuff. North of the Engineers ground the point here. We got the 2nd squad, 3rd one ready there. Jumping and catching the unity by the southern vector point. He's on the centre of the Fulton. He's definitely looking like to control the flow there of the battle through there. But of course, theoretically could get up and here through the north. Sturmpini around the Engineers. The Sturmgewehrs, of course, overpower here the Engineers with their Mosin Nagant bolt action rifles. Penal troops setting out there, equipped with the SVT-40 semi-automatic rifle, which the Soviets actually intended to equip all of the infantry with, but as the war kicked off, they didn't have enough, so it's sort of more like, who could get it. Another fun side fact is German troops kind of like the SVT-40 because, it meant more firepower for them. Particularly the Waffen-SS would typically just pick up every example of the SVT-40 they could. And ultimately, the German army would use the firing mechanism of the SVT-40 for the Gewehr 43. So, little fun side note there. We got Sturmpien versus Pilsner backed up, but the Fox is a bit of a bad position for the Pilsner being honestly, and for Salmon. He should honestly just retreat here rather than risk losing the Penal troops here. I mean, they're already bleeding out at a rapid pace here. That said, he might get a wipe here, but it's also a high risk of wipe himself. Now, going to both retreating here. I do think AceHiro came ahead on that one a bit there in the centre of the skirmish thing going on here. 3rd Pimp squad here for Salmon. No scout cast, of course. Typically you'll see scout cast versus the Oberkommandos of the Search of the Special Rive Command, but a map like this definitely makes the scout cast a lot harder to use. And I imagine that's honestly one of the reasons, well, unless you are a certain player who I think has stopped playing at this point. A man of many names, including Diev's Crow. He pretty much tends to play hard, but for most other players, using scout cars on this map or any light vehicle in general can be quite tough. This combined with just basically being associated choke points means it's not super popular actually. Anyways, going to use going here for the building here. Of course, a pretty good target for flamethrowers. AceHiro, of course, visualize what's going to happen in his head, pulls his full squad there before they get turned into, well, roast pork. Fulton they're reinforcing in a few moments, I imagine. No tech yet. Heavy infantry approach here. Nima and Salmon is on the offensive here, taking advantage of the momentum gained here as AceHiro's line buckle and break under the unrelenting Stalinist assault here of Salmon and the Red Army. Penals there firing out the Fultoners. Their SVT-40 is doing a fair amount of damage here. Sturmpien closing in. They should definitely focus them down fast as they're out in the open. Tactically a bit risky, honestly. In this case, it does work out due to the sheer number of German infantrymen here. Oh dear, he gets a bit baited in there actually. If he gets a wipe, that's obviously pretty great for the player. On the other hand, he could himself get baited into taking a lot of shots from the Volksgrenadiers. Grenadiers from the centre here at the same time. We got a flank here with the Volksgrenadiers. Nice work the base hit up. Very nice work. Doesn't look like he manages a wipe here on Salmon, but still does a fair amount of damage. It definitely helps compel Salmon to retreat faster. And what is this? We got Shock Rifle. In a shocking move, we don't get Guard Motor. With KV-8s, ambush, anti-tank guns, shock troopers, incendiary artillery barrages, and the IS-2 heavy tank. Sturmpionier is reinforcing. Truck all the way there for AceHiro. Die schwere Wehrmacht-Schlepper. Straight for the car point here. Right for the Soviet fuel jugular. Very sharp move there by AceHiro. Also very sensible. Sandbag digging in. He's obviously looking to, like, constrain and contain Salmon's fuel income for as long as possible. Of course, Salmon could just switch for the southern fuel point here if he's devious, but we'll have to see. Either way, though, nice push here by AceHiro. Could certainly combine this maybe for the fatherland to make this even harder for Salmon to take back. We'll have to see. Another question, of course, is how much we'll be using the commander. Will we be seeing any shock troopers? I think he's going for some tech here, or maybe that's just my imagination here. Guess that was my imagination, just lots of resources being spent on reinforcing. Then focusing right here with the penal troopers, got fuel pump there, also rendered neutral here. So at this point, it's going to take some time for Salmon to like restore normality to his fuel income here versus AceHiro, who's definitely his best. There we go, concussive grenade off here against the penal trooper hold there, bomb grenade, oh, intended grenade as well there. Really a nasty combo here from AceHiro on Salmon's troops that they're basically stunned in the fire. That's really not where you want to be stunned there. That is the last place you want to be stunned, honestly. Well, that one next to a bomb grenade. So, quite painful blow there to Salmon. Great work there by AceHiro. Nice little naughty Germanic combo there. In the south, though, we got Salmon here. They're taking advantage of AceHiro's focus around the north here to hit the fuel pond and turn the south. Thumbs up there to Salmon. And we got a mechanized upgrade there for the battlefield headquarters for AceHiro. Back at base here, troop reinforcing healing. No sign of shock troopers or of tech. We got barbed wire there by the southern fuel point to make it harder here for AceHiro to get to it. These fascists will not see this coming. Well, they can see this from far away, Yuri. Shut up, Boris. Or they'll see your cops from far away too. Not cool, Yuri. Not cool. Flak half chat there for AceHiro. Ground the center there. Got the northern fuel point back. Could lay down some mines, but we're not seeing that. And oh, we do get shock troopers. The also anti-tank rifle, the PTRS-41 anti-tank rifle. Noteworthy here, it was a semi-automatic anti-tank rifle, giving it, of course, a fairly decent rate of fire. Flak half track almost done there for AceHiro. There we go, folks. Right, he's being met with a fusillade there of S-50-45 here from Salmon's troops. Set up being held there by the anti-tank penal troops. Northern front has been used. In fact, we see that AceHiro is quickly losing most of the map here to Salmon. Flak half tacticals will do some heavy lifting here versus Salmon's infantry. We'll have to see if he also considers an MG-34 or what he will think of next here versus his Marxist opponent. Meanwhile, they're Sturmpionier repositioning a bit. Flak half tank move forwards. Strafbart, they almost got the southern munitions point under neutral here. Flak half track though combined with a lot of German infantry. Compel Salmon to retreat, and there goes second squad also retreat in the face of the flak half track here, the 251-17. Raketmeyer for their face hit up. Ready to blast socialist armor into bits and pieces. Smoke grenade down the line, the shock was close in there. Sneaky play there by Salmon. Moving up with their PPSH-41 submachine gun. There we go, routing the foot guns there. But there you go, caught with the flak half track. The body armor, in particular native cover, falls woefully short. As that body armor they're wearing was basically only meant to really stop like 9mm parabellum bullets. And as some of you might be noticing, the flak half track fires shots that's a bit larger than that. By about 11 centimeters. No, 11mm. Yeah, centimeters. Just briefly had to like think about that one. My mistake. Troops enforcing healing here. Tech for Salmon, perhaps? I mean, he definitely needs to start moving up something there, I think. Holding up in the center with a flak half track. Sturmpionier positioning. No upgrades for them. Focusing around in the south. We got a full maneuver here push from the Pumes from the south here, catching the focus out in the open. Northern side, we can see that AceHiro's wants to extend his presence there. He could actually make another move for the cup, although in this case we do have some mines. More mines, in fact, here. Thumbs up to Salmon, very good. Tech as well for him. Sehr good. Going for the southern point. Flak half track could be a problem there. Wrecking sandbags for the anti-tank rifle fire. Almost got them. Back at base, they're facing some mild reinforcements. Are quite. And what is this? We got a flak emplacement. They actually got the 2cm flak 38 set up there to defend the southern fuel point. Wow, you do not see that very often. But I'm going to shock to ground the point here, and then it goes flak half tech further, forces retreat there. That's highly unusual. Highly unusual. Neat though. Got the anti-tank kills going for the flak half, and they're met with a, well, firestorm of flak right into the faces. Quickly cutting Constantine down to size, going for the cup on there, dodging the mine. Back here, straight for the Mechanized component here. Salmon not slowing down. He needs armor, he needs tanks, which to meet the Hitlerite menace and shatter it like bourgeoisie porcelain across the whole concrete floor of communism. Flak up himself against the principals there, engaging them with the 2cm flak. Flak half tech would see some slight variations and some overall upgrading to the 251-23, which mounted the flak drilling instead for a total of either 15cm or 320cm. What's it, 20mm? I think it's 80mm. Again, sorry about that. Didn't quite sleep as well. My cat kept waking me up there. So 20mm guns there. So again, my apologies there. My apologies. Blame the cat. Grab the southern point here. He occasionally gets the fun idea that, you know, it's a really great idea to wake me up in the middle of the night. So, unfortunately, it isn't. So I'm not quite getting as much sleep uninterrupted as I would like. North here, we got the troops right there. There's also another minor variation, that slight different setup with a gun. And the shock troops are caught out in the end, but the flak half track, taking a lot of damage here. 10 kills, closing in about 2, which is where the flak half track gets really deadly. And I do mean really deadly. Schwerpanzer caught the face here, a bit further back. I'm guessing he set up this so he doesn't have to set up the Schwerpanzer cores too close to the front line or potential front line. That's definitely some slight thinking ahead there by AceHiro. But we got the T-34-6 on there for Salmon, and of course AceHiro currently is not exactly anywhere near tanks himself. He's going to need a Panther strike most likely, but also more Academy has really stopped that T-34-6 unless Salmon misplays the T-34 grievously, which is definitely possible, but you know, it's not what we should be counting on. We also got more anti-tank rafts here for Salmon, definitely putting most of his faith into the shock troopers and the T-34-6, plus I imagine the flamethrowers too. And it's up north here, we got the flak half track there at the ready. Flag emplacement so far has obviously not really done anything. Got a musical wipe there. Great kill here for AceHiro. Salmon definitely suffering a bit here against the German army for the time being. Flag half track though almost got taken out here. Really close call. Really close call there. But now we got the T-34-6 ready for Salmon and the Red Army. And that's going to be a significant thorn in the side of their face here with only one Raketen. Citizen has some excellent anti-infantry performance here. What's been caught here, quickly routed. AceHiro very sensibly decides not to stick around for any longer than necessary against the T-34-6 because its whole machine gun alongside its main gun can actually do incredible amounts of damage. And from there go. And we might, yeah, that's going to be a wipe there on AceHiro. Completely destroy it there. Great kill there for Salmon. Kevin that arrives on the scene. Gets a shot there through the T-34-6 side armor. Does some damage. Another Kevin having response to the arrival of the Soviet armor. Very sensible. And it's obviously AceHiro is nowhere near close to like a tank himself. Like he's got it authorized, and that's going to still mean he's going to be like, you know, at the current rate, about 3 to 4 minutes away from a Panther force, like even try and challenge that T-34-6. And by the time he has that one out, of course, Salmon's just going to be churning out more T-34-6s. Of course, he could also be trying to hope for the IS-2 heavy tank, but considering the current situation, I would say that one's a bit awfully risky here. Meanwhile, we got Orbison here for AceHiro to replace the lost Fortifications, but of course also apply more pressure here to Salmon's infantry. Very sensible decision, I think, there by AceHiro. Very sensible. But yeah, what Salmon does next is, of course, being quite interesting. I would recommend at least a couple more T-34-6s before trying to go here for an IS-2 heavy tank. But that said, Once he, I think, gets himself to a more comfortable position, I think going for an IS-2 could be a strong move that could be difficult for AceHiro to deal with, depending on the circumstances. Depending on what he does. So we'll have to see what happens next. We've got big convergence of infantry here from Salmon's side in the centre. McKevin is ready. Up north, the T-54 is setting up here for a deep flank against AceHiro. There you go, like him Coh2 pins from shots from forwards here, and loading a lot of fire here into AceHiro's men there. All of a sudden with the MD-34 almost ready here. Flak in placement, ready to shoot stuff, and there goes shock troops caught with the flak in placement. 38cm flak there, tearing into the shock troops, pushing them back here with well-placed Germanic firepower. T-34s and 6 moving towards the centre. That was, of course, also the Flak 30, which did not have a gun shield, but was a bit more mobile. And, of course, you had the more iconic Flak feeling as well there, with 4 20mm guns there, or 2cm. T-34s with the Fulton Grenadiers. With the Fulton Grenadiers, T-34 fires away there. Engineers being hammered here by the Fulton Grenadiers, trying to lay down a mine, but they do manage to finish it off here. There we go, right in the centre here. Salmon, I think, very wisely withdrawing here. And we got a second Shock Trooper squad. Wowza. That said, on a map like Kholodny Ferma, Shock Troopers definitely has some serious potentials. I don't like fault him for it, but I will say it nonetheless. It is pretty rare to see a certain player commits any number of Shock Troopers, in particular 2 of them. That said, they can absolutely potentially wreak havoc on AceHiro's infantry support weapons. AceHiro bring in an MG34. That's going to be a lot of suppressive firepower with the flak emplacement, the flak half track, and then an MG34. That's it. Someone has got most of the map here. That's definitely something AceHiro needs to be mindful of. We got this, well, not really happening. But he's closing in on the Panther 4. Meanwhile, Salmon there is closing in on another T-34. That said, he's gone for the support company here. If you start seeing field guns, I would definitely suspect, though, an attempt here at an IS-2 store from Salmon. Deploying smoke there. All of a sudden, they're taking heavy losses there from the T-34 from 6, which continues just to excel at murdering infantry. At a cost that is slightly below that of an Ostwind. We continue to unleash on the kidnappers. Very sharp there. Let's hit easily dodge. And Onslaught been off trying to set up here for the flak emplacement. Rushing in here, crashing, cover line, the shock troops. There you go, almost wiping another Fulton squad there under AceHiro's command here in the south. Flak half track there, his position I think is dreadfully exposed. He should actually pull that back before the T-34 from 6 potentially takes it out here. That would be quite a blow there to AceHiro's loses flak half track. Thankfully for him, the Salmon takes a path that allows the flak half track more easy way of retreating here, although it could of course still take it out, but unless, of course, just forgets about the flak half track, in which case it doesn't matter. But had he taken the path here, it would have been much harder, I think, for the flak half track to escape that again. As you might have noticed, because he was too slow to get out there, it all ends up not really mattering. Like the T-34 does get the flak half track, and AceHiro doesn't get the T-34 in response here. So, yeah, he should have retreated that flak half track as soon as he can there. Clearly knows up AceHiro. Great kill there for Salmon. Troops right here, flak emplacement continues to do a fairly good job there. It's got 4 kills now. Troop reinforcing and healing here. Field gun for Salmon. So yeah, I do believe we are in fact looking at an IS-2 tank stall here from Salmon. As for AceHiro, he can soon go for the Panther 4. That said, he of course might be starting to get a suspicion that his opponent is going to try and stall for the IS-2. I mean, he's seen the Incendiary, he's seen the Shock Troopers. At which point, putting 2 and 2 together is not going to be too difficult. If you remember Shock Rifle, that is, of course, because Shock Rifle is not the most common commander at the moment. That's got motor. So, don't know, if you can put 2 together there, I mean, he could, of course, be thinking he might want something he could potentially try and deal with an IS-2 here. We'll, of course, have to see what actually transpires here and what the 2 players do. But my instincts are definitely Salmon is going to transfer off an IS-2. As for AceHiro again, that one is a bit tougher to say here. So he's definitely, I mean, already the Fortifications, definitely, off the usual beaten track when it comes to the upper commanders meta game. Plus the flak emplacement. But certainly he's also just in a fairly uncommon situation. So how AceHiro reacts to this, of course, is certainly an interesting test of his skills and character. Flag emplacement holding up, 4 kills. Center being grabbed there. Heading north to the field on the Shock Troopers. Back here, T-34 being repaired, and south we got Pims of wrecking sandbags again. Schwer Panther quarters, they're silent. Doesn't look like a Panther 4. Might be a Panther or Jagdpanzer. But considering how much fuel he has, it does feel more like a Panther. Shocks to push back the Volksguns with ease. Southie and Pim's troopers right about the Volksgrenadier. Shock troops having a bit of a hard time with the Volksguns here. Not quite gaining as much traction as they'd like. As AceHiro, of course, refuses to budge one bit, not one step back. Northie T-54 for catching the steering pin. Ryan got Betty 2 and then T-54 from 6. He's almost got the fuel here for the IS-2s. At this point, it's just going to be a matter of manpower, which is certainly where AceHiro could maybe land some harder hits against the Salmon. He can go for the Panther himself, not AceHiro by the way, but he could also be planning to solve for the King Tiger, which would certainly be on the very, very ambitious end of the spectrum here. But again, both players are already ambitious, and certainly a map like Kholodny Ferma to an extent also helps, you know, support these stall strategies, because again, it's much easier to bottle up your opponent, just prevent them from moving ahead with any sort of major moves, because it is effectively just a major sort of just bunch of choke points put together and called a map. As I think is the best way to just describe Kholodny Ferma. It's a series of choke points that, you know, gets called a map. Panther on the way there for AceHiro. The Panzerkampfwagen 5, so not a King Tiger stall from at least. Yeah, machine gun bunker's about to get knocked out here. You could actually also consider laying down some estimate. There you go. South Chow Chorthy needs to cancel the machine gun upgrade. Okay, at least it technically got cancelled because the the upgrade did get completed, right? It blew up. Oh, AceHiro, you silly bugger. You can just imagine the gunner. All right, I'm coming. Oh, shit. Just blowing up right as, you know, gets to the machine gun. Anyways, Panther almost done here for AceHiro. Orbs on dealing with the shock from the center. We got another wipe here. The Sturmpioneers got exterminated by Salmon. Those shock troopers are really landing some hard hits. Again, he's been great use of the train here. But there you go. Schwerpanzer Quarter stops the shock troops on the far northern flank here of AceHiro's position. The Panther is almost done. I feel like AceHiro needs to, you know, try and push in some new directions versus Salmon. Like, he's just allowing Salmon to, you know, control most of the map and keep AceHiro on the defensive here. And there goes shock troops met by the flag emplacement here. The flag half tech is long gone. Pim's moving for the fuel point again. They're being met with the flag emplacement. This flag emplacement was, like, you know, pretty good investment for AceHiro, to be honest. Got the fuel opening up. You got the Panther forward. See, Pim's the almost pinned down there. Go pinned down the arm. Might want to pop some into now. Pim's around to the flag emplacement, being bombarded by the field gun. No troops nearby to help deal with the field gun. They're basically all in the base reinforcing healing. He also needs jump pioneers. The flag emplacement goes down, depriving AceHiro. Another one of his static pieces here in the south. The Pim troops are finally routed. We got the anti-tank ones engaging the Panther there with the anti-tank rifles. So, bit of quiet now, but Salmon there's looking fairly potent. And he's about to add an IS-2 heavy tank. The Joseph Stalin 2 tank. For those wondering, was there an IS-1? Yes, there was. Basically a slightly less heavily armored tank with an 85mm gun. The Salmon was apparently upgraded with an 100mm gun, I think it was. It was also known as the IS-85. Full being hammered here with the T-34 from 6. Panther shoots. Full being mauled out in there with the T-34. Pimps moving on the flank if they can't help with the full screen. This good hit on the T-34 from 6. Need to be careful the Pimps don't get too close. Be getting signature here, and oh, they might get the Panther in trouble. Yeah, that's going to be anti-tank solid charge here, I think. No, doesn't happen. In fact, the Pimps now have to retreat through his own fires. Shock to being 40. A Panther turns to gun to it. They're also negative cover. They're in the fire as well here. This could be a mistake here, but Salmon there go. The shock troopers take heavy loss as well here from the Panther and the Volksgun. It's of course the incendiary artillery. In the south, though, we got Pimps receiving some munition point here. Volksgun's flanking in here. What will AceHiro do next? More orbs, I think, could be a very good investment here. Maybe some mines. Of course, he would need Sturmpioneer. In fact, he needs them first because he needs something to repair that Panther, because the Volksgundiers are certainly not trained or equipped for that. Ground the center there. And there we go. IS-2 heavy tank out here for Salmon. Equipped with a 122mm gun. This is the later model of IS-2 with improved frontal armor, as the early model had some less than sloped armor, meaning much easier for German tank and, well, you know, guns to penetrate the frontal armor there, which was not exactly ideal. This one has a better sloped frontal armor, a definite improvement. Sturm Pioneer squad almost on their face hit up. Of course, at this point, Salmon will definitely want more engineers because having one engineer squad to try and fix both the IS-2 and the T-34-6. Oh, no, that's a bit ambitious. That is a bit ambitious. Definitely, I think, asking too much of the poor engineers. You want us to fix how many tanks? But just us guys? What is this, capitalism? Grab the sun pump with the Volksgrenadiers. Panther need repairs. There goes Sturm Pioneer moving in. Of course, AceHiro would also benefit from bringing more Sturm Pioneer to assist the repairs. But again, the Sturm Pioneers, are basically on their own kind of good enough. But even then, I feel like at least too many players just go for one Sturm Pioneer squad because they can sort of get away with it. But even then, I feel like just relying on one Sturm Pioneer squad, at some point repair your tanks, just still kind of hits that spot where it's just not particularly efficient in the long run. Personally, grenade off in the Volksgrenadiers here, hoping to bait them into a retreat there. AceHiro, of course, sees here through Salmon's ruse and dodges it. And then there's a lesser retreat because he's still in close quarters range versus shock troopers with some very powerful submachines. Panther arrives here to save the day, forces back the shock troopers. We got the T-34 flanking the opposite side here. We got the IS-2 then bombarding. That is already heavily damaged here after several rockets punches through the front laminate of the IS-2. Panther going for the T-34-6. T-34 bounces. Panther does not. That shot went through there. So what will AceHiro go for next here? Will he go for more Sturm Pioneer? A Panther full opposite done. Will he try and hold up for another Panther? And there's certainly a few options here for AceHiro to consider versus Salmon. Panther there down to 2/3 of its health total here. IS-2 of course being repaired. Then again, one engineer squad I think is just too little here for Salmon to repair all of his armor. Like he was playing Carbon Motor and access to self-repair, he could definitely make it work, but he's playing Shock Rifle. He doesn't have access to that. Panther 4 there for AceHiro, the Panzer Kampfwagen 4. Panther slowly approaching Veterans 1 here for AceHiro. For Deutschland. What was on the move here? Back at base, troop reinforcing healing. Panther 4 there, roughly a third of the way done. Panther moving about. Got the IS-2 on the move once more here for the Red Army. South here we got the Orbs on as the Penal Troopers. The IS-2 continues to move ahead here.
We are losing supplies to the enemy.
Panther bomb is done, and I think those Orbs are now about to get hammered. There we go. Jurgen, though, is surprised enough the enemy loses his life here. IS-2 being flanked here by the Panther, which we hard lost a gun that easily punches through there. Gute Arbeit. Up north there, points by the Volksgrenadiers do get the Panther fighter here for Zero, but finally is also extending to the north side here again. There's definitely a tendency for players to get too defensive on Kholodny Ferma, and particularly tend to neglect the north side of the map here. So this is, I think, good faces to push northwards as well here. Less great for Salmon as it allows him not so much to easily concentrate all of his forces in the south here, which has so far, been working out pretty well for him. Teams there being caught out in there with the Panther and the Sturm Pioneer taking all damage. Panther drives well here. Also as the advancing, so troops will have to retreat, and there's a good chance of a wipe here thanks to the shock troops there and the intense firepower at close range. Panther's going to move to support their Puma troops nearby. Panther snipes Sergei, and the Panther just utterly obliterates most of the Puma troopers there. We got 4 kills on it already. In grueling series of blows here to a Salmon. North, the IS-2 as the Foxes there. We've got shock troopers, Puma from the move here. Could see a wipe here possibly. Close, but not quite 6 kills though. The south shock troopers with a smoke grenade, but they need to reposition, or he's just going to shoot where he saw them last. At this point, Salmon might want to consider some mortars or a Katyusha to provide some artillery support. There you go. Close to another wipe there again for the IS-2. 9 kills. Close to Veterans 1 in the south here. The shock troopers are sent packing up by the Panther form. We got internally here against the gem support weapons by the center victory point. IS-2 slowly disengaging. Reinforcing healing. Panther there being repaired. Veteran 2-1. 9 kills. Half 8 to Veteran 2. IS-2 there wrecking hedges. Southeast Sturm Pioneer that's in the southern victory point.
We are losing territory.
Peels as the main U-34. Tifa rushing through here. No mines here from AceHiro. Of course, makes this a lot easier. Straight into the cannon after, though. Less easy. Down to half health here. Got the Panther move on to move for AceHiro and for Deutschland. Got 219 with 282. Field gun ambushed up here. Sneaky. Force advancing into the centre round found the IS-2. Go. Unleashing a fusillade of death here upon the Fultons. Almost gotten wiped out already. Close call there for AceHiro. There you go, Fulton forwards here. Light damage this time from the IS-2. Kholodny bounces off the IS-2's front llama. Panther takes red hit from the field gun. And we got Ting artillery here, unleashing the power of German artillery against Salmon's positions. In this case, just a field gun now. Also crucially not, I feel like the best timing. That said, he does allow him to get the field gun destroyed here, at least crew wiped out. That's not bad, honestly, for AceHiro. Not bad. That said, we got a deep flank here by Salmon up maneuvering haste from the south. We could get another jump on his squad wiped here. And does he get the wipe? Yes, he gets the wipe. He pumps with a self charge on the Panther as well there. The situation is definitely turning a bit pear-shaped here. Sneaky play there, but Salmon definitely catches AceHiro completely unprepared for this infantry. Well, sickle cut here right into AceHiro's exposed underbelly, causing quite a bit of damage and chaos. The Kevlin's being pushed back here. Panther 4, explosions rear. It's going to hit by anti-tank salto charge, possibly IS-2 Tifa from Mu here. This is a beautiful maneuver. Panther takes another salto charge. It's heavily damaged. Obviously, unfortunately nearby. He disengaged the Panther. Panther 4 knocked out. He's going to lose the Panther as well, I think. IS-2 bounces. T-34 bounces. Eventually, to him, maybe saving the Panther here from an early death. Ming, the other hit there. Panther bounces another shot from the IS-2, but somehow not from the T-34. Could try and Panther faster. The Panther's being hauled back. A brutal blow here from Salmon on AceHiro. Good lord. That was a hell of a flank. AceHiro's forced to replace his Sturm Pioneers yet again. As his Panthers in dire need of repairs, his Panzer IV is gone. Most of his front line certainly has also seen better days, but does quickly counteract with the Kholodny Ferma, fearlessly pushing back here Salmon's IS-2 heavy tank. That was quite the push there. Fresh Sturmpioniere. What will AceHiro do next? Meanwhile, he needs to fix up that Panther. Troop enforcing here, shock troops going in for the next push. T-34 there, 24 kills, ace level. Going forwards. Fixing up the Panther. And we got the Strafbat attacking once more here. Another assault here by Salmon, looking to remove the Germans from the centre with all socialist might. In the south here, another clashing happens here between the Fultons and the penal troopers here. That said, with anti-tank rifles against Fultons with the assault rifles, they are definitely not favoured. And the Brandhand Granada there definitely leaves them even further unfavoured. More troops around the centre of the Upsilon, they're taking heavy losses here as they valiantly fight here to preserve the integrity of the German Reich. Panthers almost fixed up again here. What will AceHiro go for next? Yak Panzer, Panther, another Panzer 4. Shock was move again. Note the way Salmon here moves in again. He's definitely setting up to hopefully get a wipe on the Fultons and retreat here. Definitely doing a lot of damage here. Chance of wipe, but definitely not impossible. That set looks like the sheer veteran of the Fultons makes this a bit harder to achieve, and they do narrowly get away though. But that was really close. Had he been too slow, that would have been a wipe there, 100%. But there you go, smoke grenade down. Sadly, doesn't save them. Doesn't save them. But that said, the flank is exposed. We got Pinsons, we got the IS-2 on the move. The Panther is also on the move. He's diving straight into the shock troopers, looking to crash them. The pinned down unit is getting crushed. It's down to just poor Sergei. Oh, Sergei didn't make it back home. He got crushed. The entire unit got crushed by the Panther. That's pretty rare to see just an entire shock troop squad almost just killed by a single Panther running over them. Oh dear. Good hit with the Panther and the T-34 from 6. Halfway to eventually flee here. And seeing until their course also being used to open up the attack here further forcing away AceHiro's force. The Sturmpionier, he needs to be careful not to lose them as well here, but he's obviously keen on pushing back those penal troops over there into tank rifles. Panther moves up, then gaining the IS-2 head on here. I think he may in fact try for a third Panther. There you go. More anti-tank rifle troops are appearing on the flank of the Panther. We got an H-5 tank there for Salmon. Orbison being dispatched with all haste here to cover the flank of the Panther. Troops reinforcing healing. Well, if you had a Panther plan, that plan has been, well, a Panther war that is. That definitely got stalled there, got delayed. IS-2 falling back here. T-34 from 6 there. 28 kills. Orbison around the penal troopers. Panther on the move here. Panther on the move for Deutschland. Troops enforcing healing here. IS-2 there, close to Veteran 2 in the south here. We got the pond being seized by the orbital Dardan, Veteran 4. Some booby traps I think would be a pretty smart idea there by AceHiro. You should find right about in the corner. Nothing on the centre, and then go got the AceHiro ready here for Salmon. Later be replaced by the SU-100, though that came very late into the war. Additionally, the SU-100 programming some issues. They actually had to issue the SU-85M, which was basically just the SU-85 but on the hull of the SU-100. Simply because, again, like, you just didn't have the 100mm gun ready. SU-5 rolling forwards. Quiet here as Salmon gets ready for the next socialist hammer blow here. Still only one near score to repel was on. I really feel like that is just really inefficient there by Salmon. Corrected it on the fire by the Panther. Nice sneaky work the base hit up. There you go, Tifa going for it. SU-5 shoots and hits the wreckage of a Stuk instead of the Panther. Sturmpionier, we got a machine gun bunker here for AceHiro to cover against a potential flank like happened last time. AceHiro is clearly learning here from sound attack. There goes saddle charge attempted briefly before being stopped. And not really a lot of action in the north. I really feel like that's one of the mistakes here by AceHiro. Like, he gets too focused on the south here. He's just neglecting the north a lot. Though arguably Salmon could also be doing more in the north himself. Like, could attack from the north into, you know, AceHiro's flank there. So it's not like, you know, it's only AceHiro's making mistakes vis-a-vis the north. Yeah, it does feel like AceHiro is planning another Panther. It's now he's looking to stall for a King Tiger. In response to the IS-2, I guess. Guess we find out in a few moments if he goes for a Panther here, or if he's in fact stalling for an King Tiger. Shock troops getting the east level. There you go, suppressed machine gun bunker. Probably should retreat before, you know, they get crushed by the Panther as well. And we do get a second Panther face here. We do get a second Panther. He's going to go for it. He's going to go for it this time, though. Salmon seems to remember what happened last time and retreats the shock troopers this time. North, they're fighting for the center victory. What happened, though, mostly some skirmishing there. T-34 diving in to defend the southern point here. Panther, T-34 fighting through the hedges, but none of the shots really connecting here. Punish from the flank of the Panther here. There you go. Good shot with the H-5. Panther is very close to the ace level here, though. Seconds, moments away there. Panther number 2 halfway done at AceHiro, and the German army, the first Panzer is shown here. 5th Panzer Grenadier Company incendiarily once more unleashed here by Salmon against AceHiro's position. This time in the center of the Kedmev there, being caught in a sea of fire. By Kedmev wiped out by the IS-2, virtually to 26 kills. Panther, though, there's the T-34 6 at point blank range here. The T-34 6 is toast. There you go. Scores a glorious kill for Deutschland. Half H-54 there with the Veteran 3 Panther. Second Panther's almost done here. Need to pull back the Panther, though, for most needed repairs here. Most needed repairs. So there you go. 2 Panthers for AceHiro versus an H-5 and an IS-2 here. And the IS-2 is Veteran 2. Sturmpionier equipped with a Panzerschreck. Not a bad idea. Still not much action in the north here, though, from AceHiro or from Salmon. Got the other Panther moving towards the center assist there. Surprised they didn't move up the Panther close to the Sturmpionier just to get it fixed faster. Troops on the move here. Salmon strikes here for the Red Army. Comrade Stalin. Folks with the shock troopers, not looking great for the shock troopers at close range with the Puma troopers, shock troopers here, not looking great, not looking advantage at all. Panther is almost fixed up here, and there you go, fresh T-54 with Salmon. IS-2 still need repairs, and Salmon honestly still in need of more engineers. Panther there taking some light hits here. H5 shoots, bounces or punches through the frontal army of the Panther actually. And South T-54 going straight here for the orbital garden. Got the Veteran Fleet Panther engaging. Good shot there on the T-54 from 6 with its gun. Another great shot there. Closing in on Veteran T-4 very steadily. And into Italy once more here by Salmon. I imagine once in the center around the support weapons. Bingo. Catching here AceHiro support weapons and a sea of fire once more. An incendiary lake of death. Panther being fixed up. Bit of quiet once more. As both places seizing up the situation. Again, the north side is just completely forgotten. It may as well just not exist. It's terra incognita at this point. There's incognito. The second one is a mistake if I did say that. Anyways, Panther sitting out there. About to lose the folks in the center here to the IS in the Puma troops. We got 28 kills. Panther on the move here. Panther number 2 moving from flank here as well. There, good shot there. Comically will increase the mobility and the rate of fire of the Panther further. Panther number 1 there. He's focusing down the less tough Panther. That's very smart there. Let's form the Panther here. Tifa rushing in. Almost got these to 5 here. Panther's about to get knocked out there with Kevin Gold squeezed here from AceHiro. There you go. Loses one Panther here. Even just with one Panther against the IS-2, the T-54, and of course the Storm Kenneth here. And the problem is at this point, the Panther, even like the veterans, he just does not have enough firepower to really, like, you know, take on the Surge, to just have much more firepower than the one Panther. There you go, Ace Panther here for AceHiro. But as man noticeably is exposed here, and there you go, main gun knocked out, and down it goes when that AceHiro is dead, and crucially deader than Disco. 31 versus 246, a 3 was blow here to the German army. 2 Panthers knocked out, barely anything else left. Meanwhile, Salmon still has the IS-2, which is close to the Ace level. Seems like AceHiro still believes in victory. For now, at least. Until called in here. And there you go, GG, game over. A loss here for the German army, a victory for the Red army. A fierce fight here, a lot of back and forth action. But in the end, Salmon stands triumphant. Partly again, I think just by handling the map better. AceHiro, I think, definitely got to defense, but also suffered too much from tunnel vision. And yeah, again, as always, the Panther just kind of really, I think, just does not skew well there in late game. As again, it just doesn't really have enough firepower to be worth the cost. So there you go, hope you enjoyed this match. I learned something from it. If you did, subscribe, like, share, comment on it, help until the family, but don't turn enemies. This is Imperial Links and cheers. Thank you for watching. We'll talk tomorrow again for another episode. Bye.